Hey everyone, this is Patrick from Palavi, putting together a quick little video showing off some of Tapestry's basic features. For those who don't know, Tapestry is a new category of digital publication. It is the next step beyond e-readers and audiobooks and allows you to view and experience human published content in all sorts of different formats and basically the way you want to experience it. Um, One of the key differences between what we do and what's come before is that Tapestry formally separates a title's content from its presentation. Humans are still in charge of the content, but the presentation is mediated through these AI scribes that you're looking at right here. So a scribe will faithfully take an author's content and transcribe it into the writing style that you prefer. For example, we have Carter here, who's an early reader specialist. She'll output prose that contains all the content of the original author and all of the original intent, but uses easy words and easy prose for people who are still learning the language. So we're going with Sophie here, who's for romance and drama voice. And the reason for that is we have a little example title here from Project Gutenberg called Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Here you have at the very beginning of the book, Down the Rabbit Hole. You can see the table of contents here. So we're into the first chapter here. And the first thing to show you is what happens if you switch scribes. So this is not the original first paragraph of the title as was written by the author. Instead, this is the scribe's transcription of that. So if I change to a different scribe, so Hugh is clear modern prose, you'll see that the prose has actually changed. The content is still the same, but the presentation a little different. And of course, each scribe can output their work in one of many different languages. So we can switch to something like Japanese. And now you have Hugh's output, but in Japanese. So switching back to Sophie. So that's Sophie's output in Japanese. Let's go back to English. And then let's listen to it because you can both read and output to audio. So let's do that.
Down the rabbit hole. Alice was starting to feel the heavy weight of boredom as she sat beside her sister on the grassy riverbank.
So we use
The
11
warmth of
labs
the
for
sun
this.
and the gentle rustle of the
And I'll
leaves
just show
did
you some of
little
the
to with
features.
long, dry
You can
paragraph.
skip
She
around.
glanced over to spark her or conversation. Sitting on the bank is shown here.
You'll see that the text
Alice
follows
sat
along,
quietly, her
but it doesn't have to. You can
thoughts
output
wandering as the warm sun
like
wrapped
this,
around her like a soft, sleepy
and
blanket.
then you have total
The
freedom to go
heat
wherever you
made her
want.
feel drowsy and a little
The audio will
slow,
continue to
and
play,
she found herself
and
debating
whenever
whether
you're
it was
ready,
worth the effort to
you can
get up and
travel
gather
back
daisies to make a chain.
to where the audio is.
Just as she was drifting into this idle daydream, a sudden movement caught her eye. A white rabbit with pink
And of course, you can switch languages too.
eyes dashed swiftly past her, stirring. アリスは自分の心の中で考えていました。破砕日でとて
And
も
of
眠く
course,
て
go
ぼ
back
ん
to
やり
different
していたの。
scribes.
彼女は自分の心の中で水火でとても眠くてぼんやりしていたのでできるか。
And as you heard, different scribes have different voices. Some of the other little affordances you have is you can zoom in and look at photos. This is a bit of a low quality one, but you'll find other photos as you scroll along here. Here's one. These are all from like the 1800s from Project Gutenberg. You can zoom in and look around on the photos. Another important aspect of Tapestry is that you can remix content from other titles. So this is the top of Alice in Wonderland. Here, let me switch back to English so we can see what's going on
She was
here.
thinking to herself,
Sorry about that. And what you'll see is there's a copyright notice a little further down here. So Project Gutenberg credits. Here's the copyright notice. And what you'll see here is that we have this particular paragraph, or we call them blocks in Tapestry. But this particular paragraph here is remixed. So you can see how it's got the little remix bar here. It's got a little header. And what this means is that this particular block literally exists in more than one title. And you can go back and see the block information about where that title came from, or where the block came from. In this case, the little Project Gutenberg license thing here. You can click into it and you can see the creator here, or you can, I think you can navigate here to reference position. And now you're reading that exact same block, push to latest version. You're reading that exact same block in the context of the original title, which is Gutenberg's entire license agreement here. And you can always just navigate back to the original title. So this is not copied. This block of text literally exists in both titles at the same time. And if this were a title that you pay for, anytime a remixed block is read, the original author of that block is the one that gets credited and paid for that block view. So this sort of turns plagiarism on its head because it allows content from older titles to resurface in newer titles and draw attention and interest back to those older titles because of the full accreditation that you get every time you remix a block. For the author that does the mixing in, you have the benefit of first of all saving time by not having to rewrite content that's already been tread. This is especially useful in nonfiction. But also you get to benefit from the high quality of the content you're mixing in, right? So this should allow the very best content to rise to the top and get remixed, just as, let's say, the very best academic work gets more frequently cited. So, papers will cite other papers and so on. And in Tapestry, titles remix other titles in a similar sort of way, fully crediting and fully honoring the source material. One more thing I want to show is links. Unlike a regular ebook, everything in a Tapestry title can be linked to. So here's a random block. As you can see when we scroll along, the current block that you're reading is being shown at the top here. So right now we're on 4.1.14, and I can click on that and pull up the block information with some interesting metadata about the block. I can go back and view it in the title, but importantly, I can also copy a link to this block to the clipboard. Then I could take that link and I could share it with whoever I want, and if they were to click it, they would be taken to the precise place that that link was made from, right here. This paragraph of this title and this particular version of this title. So if we produce a new version later on, it doesn't change what the link is pointing at. You're still going to go to the original version. And the reason that works is everything in Tapestry is fully versioned. So if I go to the title info here for this title, you can see like author, cover image, etc. But importantly, you have the title version selector here. And every single version of this title, from the very first one to the very latest one, is fully available, and you can navigate to whichever one you want. So if I can go back to, let's say, version 13, and there we are, and it'll let me know that I'm not on the latest, but you can also opt to stay on this version if that's what you want to do. All right, that's it for now. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you have fun playing with Tapestry. Take care.